Hey everybody, so super last minute live, so I apologize about that. I've been trying to, oh my God, get this talk out to you guys for the last couple weeks, and it's just been between the dogs and the baby and work. It has been literally like insane. So I will get the replay of this up since this was like crazy last minute. But those of you who can jump on for a little bit, I'm happy to have you. Hello, Colorado family. Hello, Princess. How are you? Happy to have you guys here. Thanks for popping on last second with me. But anyways, I want to talk about the really important topic of PTSD and CRNA school. And this is actually going to be a twofold topic because I'm going to talk about today, we're going to dive into clinical and kind of bullying situations and things like that sometimes you encounter in school. And then tomorrow we're going to talk about PTSD in regards to bad outcomes and bad patient situations that can happen. Because I'm telling you, we see a lot of icky things as ICU nurses and all that good stuff. But when you're at the head of the bed, it's different, and it's really, really scary, and it's really affected me, some of the things that have happened. So that's why I want to dive into this. Plus, I didn't realize that September is also Mental Health Awareness Month, so I figured this is like a perfect time to chat about all this stuff. So I'm really excited. I will be brief. We have I think a blind person coming at in a little bit, so I'll always be quick as always, but I will pack it full of information for you guys. Let's see here. So first things first, thank you to everybody who's on right now. It's good to see you. If you go ahead and type in if you are an RN or an SRNA, that would be great. Happy to have you. And I'm just going to go ahead and dive in and get to chatting. So obviously, when we experience bullying or any traumatic or terrible, problems at work, it really affects us, right? We get burnt out. It leads to compassion fatigue. Your productivity is decreased. Your self-esteem goes down. It kind of spills into your home life. It paralyzes you, and you just can't really be your best self or do your best work, okay? And some of us, we go as far as becoming depressed, right? You can't sleep. You feel like you're not yourself. You can't concentrate. You can't get your schoolwork done. You're feeling very on guard, GI issues, et cetera, self-medication. Literally, these issues can get out of control if we don't, get a handle on them and learn how to intervene, which is why I want to talk to you about today. All right, let's see who is here. We've got, thanks, Nurse Timber. Hello, everybody. Hello. We got SRNA, a soon-to-be SRNA. Yes, congrats. SRNA here. Great to have you guys. Now, are you guys in clinical? Those of you that are SRNAs, are you in clinical yet? Anybody? All right. So let's talk about let's talk about kind of what and why all this bullying and icky stuff happens. And then let's talk about how you guys can combat it. And I will share some things that I went through myself. So not yet, starting in 2 weeks. All right, so this will be perfect. This is going to get your guys' mindset and ready to get in the this SRNA, CRNA clinical game, because it's crazy, right? So things I keep hearing from you guys about clinical and about school is I'm terrified, right? I'm terrified of going to clinical. I wish I could quit. Clinical's been very frustrating. You feel like you can't get anything right. I feel like an idiot. I'm overwhelmed. I'm exhausted. It's stressful switching sites. It's stressful having different preceptors. It's less than glamorous being a student. I'm scared. People have told me they've struggled with anxiety and insomnia. And one person even said, I just can't wait for this nightmare to end. Okay. So clearly terrified. Yes, that is the word I keep hearing. And I get that. So we're going to talk through that today because yes, clinical is definitely overwhelming. And looks like we have a lot of SRNAs on here. But for RNs who are trying to become, SRNAs and CRNAs, I don't want any of this to scare you because this is all completely doable and you're actually going to have an edge because we're going to talk about some things today. But you can also start working on some coping mechanisms and some things to do now. And plus, trying to get into school is super stressful and terrifying as well, right? So both of the sides of the coin can be super, super crazy. And a lot of you guys ask, number one, am I the only person that feels like this? Absolutely not. No, you are not alone. And number two, everyone wants to know, is it going to be different when I'm a CRNA? Is it going to be this rough when I'm a CRNA? And no, it's not. what's going to happen is that you are going to grow and stretch and become so amazing and such a different person while you're in CRNA school that when you get out, you're going to be able to handle all these things like a boss, right? You're going to be better at it. Yes, I still have some situations that are not great happen to me as a CRNA. However, I went through the fire, I went through school, I've learned how to cope with things, and I'm able to handle it better. But it will 100% be different and be a better story, and you're going to be a different person when you get out and start working as a CRNA, okay? So don't worry about that. All right, you guys doing okay? Hi, Jack. Hi, Howard. Hi, Royal Deemer, Miami Joe. Hello, everybody. Thanks so much for hanging out with me last minute. We are talking PTSD and anesthesia school. Okay, so when you go to clinical, who are the players in the hating game, right? Like, who are the haters at? Literally, it could be anybody. It could be, your preceptors can try to pimp you. Surgeons can always be a pain in the butt. In nurses, I had a really hard time with nurses in clinical, and we all know the chronic issue of nurses eating their young, right? We know that nurses are probably one of the worst professions as far as like bullying and kind of tearing people down, right? And I even had issues with techs, like surgical techs. I had a lot of issues with them in school. And then sometimes your classmates cannot be as friendly or helpful as well. Hey, Julie, how are you? Carolyn, hello. Real pain in the butt. Yes. Royal Deemer said real pain in the butt. Yes. Oh my God. Seriously. And the thing with anesthesia school is you're coming in like top dog RN, right? Like you're in your C-TIC ICU, your trauma ICU, your MICU, your SICU. Hey, Joel, you're like wherever, and you're top dog. And then all of a sudden you go to anesthesia school and you're in this brand new environment. There's super, super strong personalities. I mean, I don't know what it is about the OR that attracts like crazy, strong, madness personalities, but that's there. And you think you've kind of developed this thick skin, but you haven't because it is a whole other beast once you get to that OR. I always thought I had thick skin until I went to anesthesia school, and I got a little bit of anxiety and stuff like that. It happens, right? It's a brand new place and you're learning a new thing, and you have to give yourself a little bit of grace to get through that, okay? And another thing when you're in school is you feel like you're constantly being, exposed to negativity, right? Has anyone had any issues with preceptors yet? Anyone that's in clinical? I know a couple of you said you haven't started yet. But anyways, if you do, let me know. Because sometimes it feels like a really negative and a really heavy environment. And you're going to find out that you don't always feel supported. And there is always going to be people looking for drama. Always. Okay. And that is their problem. That is not your problem. Okay. So let me just tell you guys some things and write this down, because I want you to look at this later, because I'm all about getting in your brains and your minds and getting you guys thriving. Miami Joe says, yes, some are exhausting. Yes, they really are. So write this down. Number one, you are not weak, okay? You are not weak. You are not stupid. You are not an idiot. You are learning, okay? That's what you're doing. Do not even let anyone else get in your head. You are learning a brand new skill set, and it's hard. And I am still learning, and I am still struggling some days, okay? The second thing I want you to write down, just because you have a hard time at clinical, or just because someone is trying to pimp you or be whatever, it doesn't mean that you are not cut out for this career, okay? It does not mean that. You are not weak, you are not stupid, and you definitely are strong enough and able to be a CRNA. So that's first thing. Don't let anybody else tell you anything different, okay? I want you to reframe some questions in your head, right? Number one, whose approval are you really seeking, right? You're in clinical, you worked your little booties off to get into CRNA school, right? Whose approval are you seeking? You want to obviously impress your preceptors. I say that all the time. You want them, you want your program director to see you working hard. But some of the nurses and the surgeons and stuff like that, do you need their approval to get through this program and do that? No. Number two, are you going to let fear win? Are you going to go for what you want? You got this far, right? Are you going to let fear and the being terrified and other people's opinions and trying to get their approval, are you going to let that overtake you? No. Right? And number three, who are they? If it's a nurse, if it's a tech, if it's a surgeon, if it's, a preceptor, if it's a classmate, who are they to tell you what you can and what you can't do, right? Who are they? Time and the days are going to keep going and going and going, okay? And you're never going to want to wake up years later and think that you didn't give it your all or you didn't get it your best, right? Graduation day is coming, guys. It's coming. And do not let the minutia of rude people in the operating room, etc., make you feel any different or any sort of way about yourself, okay? So I want to give you guys a few situations that have happened to me. I would love to hear about anything that you guys have kind of been through if you want to share. And then I'm going to give you some interventions, some things that you can do to, push past this and get better. And then I'm going to make a super awesome announcement that is also going to help you guys persevere and push through CRNA school. Okay. So, all right. So first situation that happened to me I think I was in my cardiac rotation. There was me and a female medical resident. We were doing like a, cardiothoracic surgery, a cabbage or something like that. I don't know what happened, but all of a sudden there was like this beeping noise and I didn't recognize the beeping noise. So I'm kind of looking around. I'm not noticing what it is. Well, it turned out he had clamped something wrong and it was a cerebral oximeter going off that there was no perfusion getting up to the brain. And I didn't know the beeping sound to pick up on it right away. Literally, the surgeon went psychotic. I have never in my life been yelled at, humiliated, or talked to like that. I mean, his like jugulars were like popping out of his neck. He was he was shaking. I've never in my life been yelled at ever like that before. And the resident that I was with ended up crying and we ended up both getting like sent home. So I actually was like, oh, okay, whatever. Like I went home for the day. I think I popped up in a bottle of champagne or whatever. And then I think he ended up getting like reported or something like that. And that's when I was a student. I've also there was like a shoulder surgery I was doing in anesthesia school. And I had, for shoulder surgeries, you have to kind of get creative with where you put your EKG leads because they're working in the shoulder area. And I had, misplaced them a little bit. And I remember the surgeon and the tech were taking the EKG leads and they were literally throwing them at me and like making fun of me and like laughing at me. And I'm just literally like standing there like, okay, like what did I do? You know what I mean? Like it was terrible. And then if you guys are on my email list and follow me, I actually quit anesthesia school. I had 5 days left of anesthesia school. I texted my program director and I quit because a nurse was bullying me over a bear hugger. A freaking bear hugger. And I was done. I was like, you know what? This ain't worth it. I'm not doing it. I'm finished. I tried to quit. She wouldn't let me quit. But anyways, I have been through, I could probably tell you 10 more stories. And even like now, sometimes I get bullied or, talked to a certain way for a surgeon. Okay. It happens. It happened to me. I got through it. If it's happening to you or if it does happen to you, let's talk about some tools and some things that you guys can put into place so that you guys can rise above it and be better. Okay. Are you guys doing okay? How are we doing? I'm so happy to have you guys all here. Yeah, girl, pop those bottles. I literally went home, painted my nails, and had champagne. I was like, well, he just did me a favor. Let's see. Hey, Jenny. Hey, Ari, Courtney. Hello, everybody. I'm so glad to have you guys. You guys okay? All right. Good, Carolyn. Awesome. So glad to have you here. All right. So let's talk about some things that you guys can do and kind of get into your head as far as if you encounter these situations, okay? The number one thing is your social support. You've got to have a strong social support when you are in anesthesia school. Thank you, Royal Deemer. I appreciate it. Self-care is huge. Huge, huge, huge. And I know you're probably thinking like, I don't have time for self-care. I can barely get my work done and see my kid and my husband or my significant other and do this. Like, I get it. But you got to figure out some coping mechanisms and some self-care things that you can put into place, right? That you got to find some downtime in your weeks, you guys, to breathe a little bit, okay? And then another thing I want you guys to do, when this happens to you guys, stop playing it over and over in your head. Don't antagonize yourself laying in bed and play it over and play it over and play it over. Because at the end of the day, when you guys are getting kind of picked on or stuff at clinical, it's actually them. It's not you. It really is. Like those relationships, right? It's them. It's not you. Like it's always them. Okay. You have to learn. I talk a lot about emotional intelligence. You have to learn to rise above it. You have to learn to take the criticism in, be assertive, grow some tough skin, but also know when it's inappropriate and you need to step it up to your program director or, whatever it is. But guys, this is that big piece of emotional intelligence I'm always talking about, right? You have to be able to breathe it in, finish your day at clinical, go home, let it go, and guess what? Get back up and keep going in. Because honestly, the ultimate FU to anybody that picks on you or to anybody that is bullying you or rude to you is showing up the next day with a smile on your face and being ready. And that's the name of the game. That's the only reason I'm a CRNA right now is because I kept showing up. I might have cried in my car. I might have pouted. I might have thrown a fit. I might have cried in the med room. It doesn't, whatever. But I showed up every single day and I kept on going. That's the name of the game, right? I did not let those people, it hurt. It kind of tore me down. I was upset for a second, but that doesn't matter. Go. Are you going to let somebody else take away your CRNA dreams? Hell no, right? It's their problem. It's their jealousy. It's their issue. You are going to keep on going, okay? And obviously, we all know yelling and aggression and doing all that is completely ineffective, right? And unfortunately, in the operating room, in healthcare, in nursing, there's a culture there, right? And emotional intelligence, you're not going to be able to change that culture. You're not going to be able to change that person, your assignment, your surgeon, your preceptor, but you can change yourself and you can change the dynamics to how you interact with these people, right? Remember, I've talked about it before in my other lives. You guys are in control. You have more control than what you think because you're in control of you, okay? What do you say, Jack? We need to learn to debrief any situation, take what really belongs to you, and let everything else go. Absolutely. And that's the name of the game. You guys are going to have preceptors that do awesome things, and you're going to be taking notes. You're like, I'm doing that. That's adding that to my practice. That's my thing. You're also going to have preceptors who do crazy things. You're like, what the hell? This is like nuts. And you know what? You're not going to do that. But either way, you're learning, right? And so a lot of things that I'm actually going to get something out for you guys, but I want you guys to keep track of these clinical situations that you are kind of having. Because just like Jack said, you do need to learn to debrief. You need to have your buddy. I talk about that in my emails, your 10 tips to surviving school. You need to have your buddy and you need to have someone to talk to, or me. Like I mentor, message me. There's lots of CRNAs in this community. Talk to us, bounce something off, and then exactly what it is. Take what you need and let everything else go and keep showing up. It doesn't matter, right? You cannot argue with crazy. You can't argue with crazy, okay? Other thing I want you guys to think about, I know a lot of you that the anxiety and the stomach, pains of going to clinical for the first time and that fear of the unknown. But I want you to think about what is literally the worst case scenario. So the worst case scenario, right? Like you go to clinical and, they yell at you a little bit. They're a little bit rude. You feel stupid, like your wake up was crappy, whatever. What's the worst case scenario? They're not going to kill you, right? You're not going to die. Like you're going to be okay. Your spirit's going to be a little bruised, but your worst case scenario is going to be letting them affect you to the point where you quit, to the point where it's affecting your schooling, and to the point where it's affecting your whole life, your home life, right? That's your worst case scenario. You are not yet a CRNA. You're trying to become a CRNA, and you are not. I do not want you guys to let anybody take that fire and that joy and that excitement from you. Okay. So worst case scenario, that's what you got to think about. I know like all these unknowns, you get like your chest starts palpitating, you're terrified, you're whatever, but what's the worst thing that's going to happen to you? The worst thing that's going to happen to you, someone might yell, make you feel dumb, and you're going to go home, you're going to soak in what you need to soak in, and you're going to keep on moving, right? A lot of times these people are jealous of you because they're not where you are, or they want to be where you are, or they see you, doing stuff. They see, they see you moving up the ladder. A lot of people want that, don't know how to get it or didn't do it. And so they're just taking that out on you. So you just have to learn to let it go, right? Emotional intelligence, right? Get up. Another thing I want you guys to do on your way to clinical is sometimes you guys got to hype yourself up, right? Like you have to get in that mindset. I talk, self-care. I talk about daily things, I think on Facebook page, like what are some daily things you guys can do to survive, right? Not everybody is going to pat you on the back, okay? You have to pat your own self on the back. I say that all the time. Hype yourself up. Get excited about what you're going to learn. Don't let yesterday's problems and issues come into your today at clinical, right? It's a fresh day to learn, to grow, to learn some new anesthesia techniques. Yes, I might get yelled at a little bit. That's fine. I'm going to learn for it. I'm going to keep on going because at the end of the day, you're going to become a safe and a competent CRNA. And that's what all these situations and everything is about. You guys doing okay? I have a few more things to talk about, some action steps, and then I'll reveal my exciting surprise. You guys doing all right? Any questions, comments? All right. So another thing I want you guys to do is always think about why you started and always think about the end and the big picture, right? What is the big picture? What is the exciting thing that's going to happen? Number one, you're going to graduate and you're going to party once this madness kind of calms down. And number two, you want to take that picture with that NBCRNA, pass form, right? Like that's the big picture. That's the goal. Think about that. Think about that in your head. Like, you know what? I'm one day closer to graduation. I'm one day closer to holding that piece of paper and walking out of that testing center with that pass and being a CRNA, right? You're doing this for you. You're doing this for your family. You're doing this for your own personal goals to, have higher education, to be better. Don't ever forget that, and don't let anybody ever take that away from you, okay? Don't lose your prize in someone else's security and problems, okay? Don't lose it there. It's their problem. It's not you. And then guys, keep surrounding yourself with winners. Keep surrounding yourself with people who are positive and happy and have good things to say, right? You're probably going to learn, if you haven't learned now, not everyone is going to come with you on your CRNA journey. And that's okay. It's a rough one. It's a long road. It's an exciting one. It's super awesome, but not everybody's going to come with you on it. And you have to be okay to let some people go and to let some things go, right? This is yours. This is your moment. This is your story. You worked hard to get here. Own it. You're actually getting this amazing gift of improving yourself every single day, every single time, with every single interaction, okay? So don't ever forget that. Make sure you are surrounding yourself. Like if you got to delete some negativity off your social media or whatever, do it, because you are going to higher places, and you got to realize not everybody can come with you to where you're going, okay? Another thing I want you guys to do, create a barrier around yourself, some imaginary light or something, whatever, create something around yourself and remind yourself that you are learning. Give yourself grace, right? Nobody, not one single person is born or walks into anesthesia school able to intubate, able to put in lines, able to wake a patient up beautifully. No, not me, not no one. No one was able to do that, right? It takes time. So be gentle with yourself, even if nobody else is, because once again, it doesn't matter, right? Does their nasty opinion really matter? It doesn't, right? Take back your control. You're learning. It takes time. I've hit the teeth before, okay? I've had a bloody lip before when I've intubated patients, okay? I missed an IV and messed up. It happens, right? Emotional intelligence. You are in control of you, and you can actually control your situation by what you allow in your little bubble, right? So be nice to yourself. It doesn't matter if everyone else is rude. You know where you're at, and you know that you have a lot to learn in a short amount of time, and you also have a life outside of this, so give grace to yourself, okay? And then I want you guys to repeat this after me, or listen to what I'm saying or write this down, okay? My worth has nothing to do with how I perform at clinical. My worth has nothing to do with what other people say about me at clinical. I will be a good CRNA because of the work I will put in by continuing to show up and accepting criticism like an adult, and this too shall pass. Okay? We're going to say that again. My worth has nothing to do with how I perform at clinical. My worth has nothing to do with what other people say about me who are crazy. I will become a good CRNA because of the work that I will put in, that I choose to put in, by continuing to show up and by accepting criticism like an adult, and this too shall pass. Okay? Say that multiple times over to yourself, okay? You guys are fine, and you are going to be fine, and you are not going to let other people take away this moment that you have worked so hard to be in, okay? It's fine. The days end eventually. Like I've said before, all bleeding eventually stops, right? This is just a temporary walkthrough to get you to where you need to be. And you have to accept the refinement and the fire and the burning that's going to happen to you during clinical as it goes on, because you're going to come out as a really, really awesome CRNA, okay? How you guys doing? Are we okay? We doing all right, guys? You guys are awesome. I really appreciate you being here with me last minute. So a couple action things I want you guys to start doing. Nurse Timber, show up. That's it. One foot in front of the other. Show up. It's fine. Like I said, the ultimate FU is walking in there I'm back, right? Here I am. You guys did not get me down. I'm here to learn. Let's go, right? Keep going. Okay, So I have got some really awesome accounts I want you guys to take a look at that talk a lot about burnout, compassion fatigue, PTSD, some of this stuff. So I'm going to be putting them up on my stories tonight because they're awesome and they have a lot more information. And I want you guys to think of some self-care activity or something you can do. Like, what's a little treat, who cares? Do you want to sit out in your car for 10 minutes before you go in your house and listen to gangster rap or listen to something and like what is something you can do? Journal? Can you write about it? I'm all about writing stuff down. It helps to get stuff out of your brain onto paper. It helps kind of relieve some of that, craziness. So I want you to find something you could do. Take a walk every day and start doing it today. All right. Try to integrate something into your schedule that is self-care or something like that makes you feel good, right? Because you need that, because you do feel beat down a lot, right? Like it's definitely difficult. So find something that you can do that takes 10 minutes that will make you feel like a human again and make you feel good. And I want you guys to start talking to your classmates. Talk to your classmates, be open and honest. Start the dialogue. Like, hey guys, I'm really having a hard time at clinical today. What was your experience? Whatever. Open up. I know I can't imagine what you guys are going through doing this like virtual like stuff that's going on. But still, start a thread, reach out, talk. You guys are all in this boat together. And there's so many of you guys that I've been connecting with that are all in this same boat. Okay. So you are not alone. I'm going to keep saying that. You are not. People have gone through this before you, and we've all made it through, and we've all come out better, and you guys will too. Yes, this helps. Awesome. Kelly says, first year SRNA, congratulations. Storing this up for next year when clinicals start. Yes, absolutely. That's the thing, is I wish someone could have told me some of this stuff and just made me kind of be aware and prepared, because it does happen. And for whatever reason, nurses and people can be super, super nasty. But you know what? It didn't kill me. I'm still here. I probably got yelled at yesterday at work or something. Who even knows? I probably did a couple weeks ago. It's fine, guys. It's totally fine. Do not let anybody take away your hard work and your shine that you did to be here, okay? And then just keep learning. Look up stuff. Ask questions of people, talk to your program director. And if you're feeling really, really emotional, depressed, upset, like literally reach out. The AANA has some great resources as well. And I'm going to give you guys some awesome resources to look at. Okay. So that's on the PTSD. Tomorrow, I will get you guys the time. We're going to talk about PTSD with really critical patient care situations, because I've had some really crazy things happen to me. So I want to talk about that with you guys. And I have another announcement I'll make tomorrow. But I have something really exciting to share that I've been working on behind the scenes. But in 2 weeks, on September 13th, I am actually going live. I put together a virtual summit just for you SRNAs. I've got 7 amazing speakers, and we are going to be having presentations live on IG. We're going to have freebies, we're going to have giveaways, and it is going to be amazing. I want us to regroup, recharge, get ourselves together, and start thriving as we head into this last few months of the year, right? Like, it's been an ugly year. So I want us to kind of fall into fall a little bit nicer than we came into 2020. Okay. So I actually have the link in my bio for that. It is a completely free event. You can go to my bio, you can sign up. I asked for your email just so I can give you all the information and all the stuff you need to attend. But it is going to be, I have an SRNA that's going to be talking, and the rest are all CRNAs. And we're literally going to be talking about budgeting and finances. We're going to talk about clinical stuff, like how to kind of excel and be awesome in clinical. We're going to talk actually more about bullying. We're going to talk about mindfulness, and there are going to be even more tips to kind of help you guys get through this hard push of clinical. So I am super excited. I will have tons of info in my stories. I'm also going to have opportunities. You guys can hang out with me on my 24-hour shifts like I do. And there's going to be some free stuff as well. Okay. So I'm really excited. I've been working on this really hard. It's actually going to be happening in 2 weeks. So head to my bio for more information. And once again, I'm going to post some awesome people to follow that I think can help you guys out. Find a self-care activity to do, right? Remember that your worth does not depend on other people. Control the narrative, right? Emotional intelligence, you control you. Take what you need, let go of what you don't need, all right? And do not replay these awful scenarios over and over and over in your head, okay? It's over. The day is done. The sun has set. Get up keep going, rock it out, learn from it, debrief, keep pushing, journal, do whatever you have to do, but you guys will get through it, okay? One day at a time. I'm here for you. You've got a huge community here that I'm trying to connect you all together, but you guys can do this, okay? You're one step closer to CRNA every single day. You keep pushing forward and you keep going, okay? So do not let anybody, nurse, tech, doctor, surgeon, CRNA, SRNA, do not let anybody take away what you are doing, okay? Because it doesn't matter. What matters is you keep finding the strength, you keep developing some really tough skin, and you just keep showing up and pushing through. That is the only thing that matters. And at the end of the day, you will be a safe, amazing, fantastic, competent, confident CRNA, and we will be celebrating you when you get here, okay? Do you guys have any questions or anything that I can answer for you guys? You guys are awesome. You are welcome. You are welcome, Carolyn. Thank you so much for hanging out with me last minute. I appreciate it. I have like PTSD for my day today. Anybody have any questions you can think of? I even got bullied I was an RN, my first RN job. Brand new baby nurse. I was completely bullied by a nurse. I used to go in the Ptsd room and like bawl my eyes out, but then I never let her see me be upset. I just took it. Like she was like beating me down, and I just was like, and then I would like go cry about it. And then literally, I think I was charge nurse by the time I left that job, and she literally wrote me a card and said, "Thank you so much. You are one of the best nurses I've ever worked with." And I was like, what? So you never know. Some people just want to try to push you and test their limits. Some people are just miserable. It's really not your issue or your problem to figure out why they're being aggressive and mean. It's just your job is to just kind of, keep pushing through and not let it beat you down and affect you, because it will end. You're not going to be stuck with these people. None of these preceptors, none of these crazy people are coming to your house and having dinner with you and coming home with you, right? Like, just leave it at clinical and then go home to your safe place, regroup, debrief, and keep on going, keep on pushing. You'll be just fine. Anybody else have any other questions? I'm so excited for the summit. Like, I'm so excited. You guys are going to learn so much, and it's all going to help you guys thrive and just be better, because I want you guys to do better than I did, because my SRNA life was a hot mess. So any other questions before I jump off? Thank you guys again so much for hanging with me. I appreciate it. All right. Well, thank you guys much. Head to my bio if you want to sign up for the summit. I'm excited to see you guys there. Oh, okay, Erica, I'll answer your question in just a second. And tomorrow I will get you guys the time for the next part of the PTSD, where I'm actually going to talk about a situation that I have never talked about before. I don't like talking about it, but I feel like it's necessary and it's important, and I think it'll help you guys. So I am going to be a little bit more vulnerable than normal tomorrow and talk to you guys about a situation. All right, Erica, what is your favorite part of being a CRNA? Thanks so much for taking this time. You are so welcome. My favorite part of being a CRNA, man, I have to say it is a pretty awesome feeling when I'm doing my 24-hour shifts and I'm the only one in the hospital. And, you get called for an emergent case or like an OB or, something like that. And you take care of that patient, right? Like you get that sick patient safely through surgery, or just kind of the whole nursing piece, like establishing rapport with patients and talking to them pre-op and then seeing them post-op. And just, I love it. I love the chemistry of what's the word I'm looking for? Like of taking their medical history and their medications and, making an anesthetic plan for them and then tweaking it as I go and then waking them up and treating their pain and just the whole process. I think it's just an awesome profession. It's difficult. It's challenging. It's humbling. I mean, just when you think you're cool, like you're not, because something will happen. But I love that we get to take care of one patient and see them, from the beginning of the anesthetic all the way to the end. The hands-on skills is awesome, doing blocks, doing central lines, intubating, A-lines, and then we're always thinking, right? We're always critically thinking all the time. And I think it's just such a cool profession. Do you guys have any other questions for me? Hi, Aubrey. Hello. Those of you that kind of came in, I am going to post this replay up tonight so you guys can see it. And then, hey, Ash, how are you? So you guys can watch it. And then tomorrow, like I said, I'm going to be talking about PTSD in regards to patient situations, because that's another, I think, critical piece to this. Any other questions you guys can think of? I'm so appreciative of you guys hanging out with me today. Let me see if I got everybody here. Anything else? How you doing? Well, we were just talking all about PTSD things, and you guys are going to have a leg up in the clinical game because you guys are going to not allow the feelings of other people to affect your education, because you guys are awesome. Hey, Kelsey, how are you? Any other questions you guys can think of for me before I jump off? I'm trying to think I covered everything pretty well. Let me see if I missed anything. All right, just a reminder, guys. I want you guys to figure out what's going to be your self-care thing you're going to do, right? Like, what's going to be your thing that you're going to do to get you through those hard days? Aubrey, what do you think about pediatric ICU experience for CRNA school? Yes, so I know that I think a lot of places will take that. However, I do think getting some adult care is not going to hurt you. It'd be a good thing as well. Like if you could get into like a SICU for a year or so or something like that, I think that'll make you all the more a stronger candidate. However, I don't think there's anything wrong with having, PICU experience as well. Do you have any experience in like med surge or did you do any type of adult nursing at any point? Anybody on here have pediatric ICU experience? Any of you guys? But it's definitely fine. I mean, it's definitely doable, but I do think it would not hurt to get a little bit of adult experience as well in the ICU. It just make you stronger. That's all. More experience. The more experience is always a good thing. Do you guys have any other questions? There you go. She said, one of my classmates is pediatric ICU nurse. So yeah. So absolutely. And then if you want to message me, we can definitely talk more about, I just want to hear about the specific things you're doing. Worked in adult ICU while nursing school. Oh, perfect. Yeah, you should be good. But message me because I want to hear about your years of experience and kind of some of the stuff, like kind of what the unit is like that you're on. So send me a message and we'll chat more. But yeah, and I think another nurse I was working with was also a pediatric ICU nurse. Yes. I did trauma. I did lots of penetrating trauma, blood and guts. Anything else you guys can think of? All right, one more time because some of you guys popped in late. I'm going to repeat this, okay? I'm going to repeat this for the third time, all right? So for those of you going into clinical and going into CRNA school, this is what you're going to say to yourself. Remember, your worth has nothing to do with what others say about you, how you perform at clinical, and you are going to all be amazing and awesome super CRNAs because of the work that you are going to put in and because of the work you are going to do, because of the showing up you're going to do and accepting criticism like the adult boss SRNA that you are and continuing to go, all right? That is what I want you guys to take away from all this, okay? All right. So I'm going to pop off. You guys are awesome. I will get the replay up in just a few minutes. To join the summit specifically for SRNAs, the link is in my bio. I got the speakers in there and all the good stuff, the dates. It'll be in a couple weeks, and there's going to be lots of freebies and fun stuff for you guys. So I'm so excited. I will get up when I'm going to be doing part 2, which will be tomorrow, which will be another form of PTSD that we also may experience as healthcare workers, okay? All right, you guys are so awesome. Thank you so much. I will get the replay up shortly since I did this last minute, and you guys are awesome. Keep rocking it out. I'm cheering you on every step of the way, and I'm here if you need anything, okay? Bye, guys.